This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Do you ever have a story that you just can't get out of your head?
One that you play the details of over and over with your friends?
Well, you've come to the right place. I'm Claire.
And I'm Susan.
And this is Justice Pending,
a weekly true crime podcast where we discuss tantalizing crimes with more questions than answers.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Justice Pending. I'm Claire.
And I'm Susan. And today we're talking about the case of Lindsay Buziak, a 24-year-old real estate agent who was brutally murdered back in 2008 during a home showing in British Columbia.
This case has everything that makes true crime combustible.
That's right. A staged meeting, 2 unknown suspects, a vacant house, and no arrest.
And it also has something else, something that's made justice harder, not easier.
Misinformation.
Yeah, this is one of those cases that was so covered in the press back when it happened in 2008. You and I were talking before we started recording about how we remembered this case dominating the headlines. And a lot of times when stories are this big, there's a lot of people out there trying to say that they know what happened, spinning their theories, and that's not at all what Justice Pending is about, is it, Susan?
That's right. We want to know the facts, the case. Let's look with fresh eyes. Let's get justice. Let's go.
Absolutely. So let's talk about who Lindsay was. She lived a full life, even though she was only 24 years old. She was early in her real estate career. She was ambitious. She was known to be very social and excited about her future.
Yeah, she seemed to really love her job. And she, she had some mentors. She leaned on her father, who was also a realtor, and her boyfriend for advice in her, burgeoning career.
Yeah. So the real estate business was really a family affair for her. Not only her father, but also her boyfriend and his family, who we'll hear about later. This wasn't someone who was just reckless or naive going into this business. She was careful. She was considerate. She was asking questions and really wanting to have a successful career. And she was not unaware of the risks of being in real estate.
Yeah, she probably had a bit of the naivete and the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed thing that comes with being a young real estate, not even real estate, just like someone young and early on in the career.
Yeah.
So it would have been, quite a shock to everyone to see what happened to her.
Yeah. So let's talk about the phone call. On February 1st, 2008, Lindsay received a cold call about real estate.
That's right. And this will, if you don't remember this case from her name, this detail will spark a memory if you were paying attention back then, even a little bit. A woman with a Spanish accent said that she and her husband wanted to buy a $1 million home immediately.
Yeah. So this is raising some red flags. Even, for Lindsay, who's, of course, got to be thrilled that someone has singled her out and said, hey, I want to buy $1 million home. There's a show, $1 Million Listing, right? It's a dream of many real estate agents at all stages in their careers to get $1 million listing because of the size of that commission, right? So yeah, she was excited, but also suspicious. And she asked, how did they find her? Why were they singling her out? Because she didn't know these people.
That's right. And in that same Spanish accent, the woman reportedly said a friend of her husband's had recommended Lindsay.
So yeah.
Yeah. This is like you said, the kind of opportunity a young agent dreams of, especially a recommendation. I mean, this just sounds way too good to be true. And it is.
And you're not usually, someone recommends you for $1 million business and they say, oh, it's a friend of my husband's. You're not going to be like, can I get the name, please? You're excited. You feel like the referral has come in and she scheduled the showing for the next day.
Yes. So here we are, February 2nd, 2008. It's scheduled for 5:30 p.m.
Yep.
At a house on D'Souza Place. And
Right.
Lindsay meets a couple, shows up outside
Yeah.
the home. So far, everything's on track.
Right. And so the reason we know as much as we do about this phone call and the meeting, it's because Lindsay was sharing this information with her boyfriend, with her family, with other people that she worked because she was excited about it.
Yeah.
Right. And so she told them everything that was happening. Oh my gosh, I got this call for $1 million listing. I set it for 5:30 p.m. And she had even asked her boyfriend to come and to be at be at the showing so that she wouldn't be alone. And 5:30 p.m., I mean, that's not like a midnight showing or anything. It's just early evening. It's pretty common, like when people get off work, a good time to do a showing. And also when there's usually a good bit of activity, like in a neighborhood, right? People are coming home, people are checking the mail. It's kind of a time that you would expect to have eyes and ears open. So they did, right? Why don't you tell everyone what witnesses saw?
Yeah. So, like you said, there's plenty of people around, and witnesses in the neighborhood on the street describe this couple very clearly. It's a tall man, dark hair. He's wearing a long jacket. And the woman with him has short blonde hair and is wearing a patterned dress.
Yeah. And so we talked about previously how Lindsay had asked her boyfriend, Jason, to be there. And he unfortunately was stuck in like rush hour traffic and couldn't get to the location. He was trying to be there at 5:30 for whenever she got there, right? Or maybe even a little before.
Mhm.
But he's not there. But again, she feels safe. There are people around, and they shake hands and they walk inside the house.
That's right. And 10 minutes later is when Lindsay is attacked in that house.
Yeah, so we know that Lindsay was stabbed repeatedly. She had head and chest wounds, and people believe that two people committed the murder based on the wounds to her body.
Yeah, and it's very odd because despite the fact that there were witnesses everywhere, really, if you think about it, they weren't paying too close attention because this couple was never seen leaving the house.
Yeah.
They've never been identified. Something that's really, just so heartbreaking and creepy about this is that during this attack, she did like make a pocket dial from her phone.
Yeah. Yes, all that could be heard on the other end of the line was just muffled noise, like conversation, and it's not known, like, did she make this pocket dial on purpose? Like, was
Right.
she trying to she started to feel uncomfortable and she wanted to record what was going on, or was it totally like a genuine pocket dial and just happened to, start a call? It's unclear.
Yeah, and the other, heartbreaking thing is
Yep.
Lindsay's boyfriend, Jason, he did make it to the house
Yeah.
eventually. He was there
Yes.
outside the house while this is going on.
Yeah, so he is in his car. He had arrived late. We talked about how, there was traffic, he couldn't find the house. And of course, this has been a magnet for speculation and theories. Why was he late? Why wasn't he there? The idea that somehow, he was involved. And I think it's important to be clear that police verified his movements with surveillance footage and they do not suspect him at all.
Right. I am sure he is kicking himself and
Yeah.
has been for years about this, not going in the house. I mean, you want to give your partner room to grow, right? Her own
Yeah.
career. So I understand, it's just
And he
this.
worked in real estate, his family worked in real estate. So the idea that it was somehow related just really took hold online, especially, and it's just never been proved by the investigation and by facts.
Right. So let's talk about a very creepy detail in this case.
Yes. So the phone that was used to contact Lindsay whenever she got that inquiry from the Spanish accent speaking woman,
Yeah.
um, they were able to track it down, and it was a prepaid burner phone.
Oh, yep. Purchased under a false name, used only to contact Lindsay, then deactivated.
Yeah, this is giving me major professional hit vibes, Susan.
Yeah, but like, why?
I know. Why indeed. And even like the description of the couple and the blonde hair and everything, I'm like, I wonder if she's wearing a wig.
Of course
Like a,
she is.
you know, a
Yes.
short blonde wig. It sounds like they had disguises. They had this prepaid phone. It's
I'm gonna guess fake
very
accent.
suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the accent. Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, over the years, theories online have truly exploded about this. It made major headlines at the time.
Yep.
Everything from drug cartels, family conspiracies, informant rumor. I mean, the whole thing gets very painful. And unfortunately, there's, the misinformation and speculation was from a very unexpected source.
Yes. So a lot of the speculation came from Lindsay's own father, which, my heart goes out to him that
Yeah.
he's trying to figure out why his daughter was killed. And this is just a horrible thing for anyone to go through, much less a parent. And I'm sure, that this has just taken him down many dark paths that he never imagined he would have to walk. And so it's just really sad to think that the harassment and the defamation, everything that has come out. There's been lawsuits, Susan. People do not have any more answers about what happened to Lindsay, but there are a lot of theories and a lot of rumors that have really damaged people's lives.
Yeah, and it's, he also kind of, by doing this, got in the way of the investigation because
Yeah.
the speculation made everything worse, which of course was not his intent, but I don't believe it was his intent anyway, but just makes everything so much messier.
Yeah, I mean, misinformation doesn't just confuse the public and muddy the investigation, it drowns out real leads. I mean, every amount of time, every lead that someone's following up on that doesn't have any basis in reality or facts takes away time and resources from the real investigation. So, yeah, it's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, police have said they believe that someone knows something, but, people are afraid to speak.
Yes, Lindsay's own mother, Evelyn, posted a statement online recently, November 2025, pleading for anyone who has information on her daughter's murder to come forward. She actually used her daughter's birthday as a time peg for why she was asking people to come forward. It's just so sad. It's something, gosh, as a mother, to think that on your child's birthday, you'd be asking for answers about their murder. It's just, God, it's not the way it's supposed to be. So Lindsay's mother was told that investigators were being reassigned from her daughter's case. And that was really heartbreaking news. And she wanted people to know that her daughter's murder needs investigative attention and it needs resources. But 18 years later, she's still asking for the truth. And she said, it's never too late to do the right thing.
Yeah, this case is really a lesson in restraint, resisting the urge to fill in the gaps with theories.
Yeah, because justice doesn't come from noise, it comes from the truth. And somewhere, someone knows what happened inside that house to Lindsay Buziak. And until they speak, justice will be pending.
Thanks for joining us this week on Justice Pending, and we'll be back next week with an all-new case.
Justice Pending is recorded in Dallas, Texas for Rebel Studios. It's hosted by me, Claire Sanama, and Susan Passoni. Our theme music is Bending Truth, licensed at premiumbeat.com. We appreciate all listener feedback. Leave a review wherever you're listening right now, and we might read it on the air. Thanks for joining us.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.